Wrestling Reality here on Trib Live Sports Radio in Pittsburgh. This Monday, Pittsburgh Consult Energy Center, Monday Night Raw will be there, and you can come get your dance, get your funk on, as he is one half of Tons of Funk. I'm talking to the Funkasaurus, Brodus Clay. Brodus, how are you?
Maintaining, man. How you living?
Brodus, I'll tell you, it has been a fun ride watching the Funkasaurus character. Something I know a lot of people probably weren't expecting out of you, especially having seen some of your work prior as the big angry monster. I mean, talk about what it's like getting to go out there and get your James Brown on every week.
Which is a great. It's a lot of fun, the kids, the reaction from the kids and the ladies is priceless. I always see them dancing, or see a lot of little girls say "future funkadactyl," and they're like getting down. Every once in a while, you see a tough guy kind of bobbing his head and stuff. So we do some and fired up. Shades of back in the day, like the American Dream did. They might.
Are you happy? Are you happy that you're getting to do something? A character like this versus being maybe more stereotypical, being the big angry monster, or them playing off of your past as a bodyguard. Do you like the fact that you're kind of giving people something different than they probably would normally expect?
I welcome the challenge. It's not an easy role to do, and there's always going to be criticism and things like that. But for me, as a WWE superstar, to be able to be different and be outside of the box and make people want to be a part of that. And so it was an exciting challenge. And, this days where, just like everybody else, where I like to break stuff up and be aggressive. But
talk about the debut. The debut was kind of held off for a while. Was that orchestrated that way to kind of build a certain hype, or was that just the balance of live TV and things always changing? And talk about that whole experience, because obviously that was something very memorable at the time, with John Laurinaitis continuing to say Brodus Clay will debut next week, and then we took so long to get it, and when we got it, we got what we obviously weren't quite expecting.
I think it was a little bit of both. We had some stuff come up. I know when in Atlanta we had the Muppets show, and it kind of felt like having this big monster come out and destroy somebody in the Muppets thing probably wasn't a good idea. So we got kind of started from there, and then week to week we just didn't know, and then somebody dropped the idea, and Triple H and American Dream and Bill DeMont kind of helped me figure it out, and we ended up shocking everybody, which was kind of cool, because I don't think, I think when the unexpected happens, people remember that more. So I think that debut will probably be the one that I'll always be tagged with, depending on whatever happens to the rest of my career. But that debut for sure will actually be considered a real debut, a surprise.
And in this day and age, that is pretty significant.
Yeah, with the internet and everything, the fact that it was kept under wraps and we shocked a lot of people, I'm very proud of that.
Talking to Brodus Clay, WWE superstar, he will be here in Pittsburgh Monday night for Raw at Consult Energy Center. You can still get tickets. It is the best value in entertainment. If you've never been, you got to go to a live WWE event. And also, it being Breast Cancer Awareness Month, WWE very involved with the Susan G. Komen Foundation, and all proceeds to their pink breast cancer awareness shirts that are tied in with characters on WWE. The proceeds go to Susan G. Komen. Brodus, talk to me about working with Tensai, Sweet Tea, a guy who's been around the world. He's worked under several different characters and styles. What's it been like for you, who obviously has less experience than him? What's that been like getting paired up, both, I guess, behind the scenes and in the ring?
You know what? He is truly, I would say, a friend at this point. He has been. A lot of people don't realize how clever he is. I always get a tab for being the guy. I always got something to say and quick-witted, and that comes out of my character a little bit. But he's a hilarious guy. He's the king of the backhanded compliment, and he's very good at doing that. And he's a lot of fun to work with. I've learned a lot with him. And he's just, I don't think he gets enough credit for being the complete all-around worker that he is. And, when they talk about him in history, as far as he's got to be considered one of the most complete big men in the history of our sport. So it's a real honor to work with him.
Now you went from bodyguarding with Snoop Dogg, and then you actually had, if correct me if I'm wrong, you bodyguarded, you did some wrestling, and then you went back to bodyguarding, if I have your
Right.
history right. Talk to me about that whole transition and what made you want to get into sports entertainment.
I had always it was always kind of a pipe dream to want to be in the WWE. I was a big fan growing up, and you hear that a lot. But I mean, I was to the next level. I had every action figure. I watched every Saturday religiously, Tuesday nights, and it didn't. And it got to the point where if it wasn't WWE, it was WCW, it was AWA, it was NWA, it was UWF, GWF. Like I just was hooked, and I never really got the opportunity. I even called the Powerhouse at one point when I used to run the ads for it. Um, and it just kind of was like one of those things where I didn't think it would happen. And I was bodyguarding, and I was working at actually I was bodyguarding for Snoop, and I also ran a club on Saturday nights at Universal Studios, which is called Saddle Ranch Chop House, and a fight broke out, and Tommy Dreamer just happened to be there. And he was like, "You need to do this stuff on TV," because I guess I was cracking jokes when I was throwing the guy. I was suitcasing a couple guys, and which is when you grab them by their belt and carry them out like suitcases. And he thought it was extremely funny, some of the content. And he said I should do it on TV. And I was like, "Yeah, right. You guys aren't hiring." And he's like, "Well, actually, I'm the head of talent relations." I was like, "What?" So it just kind of went from there, and got an opportunity to be at Deep South with Bill DeMott and trained under him for a couple of years. And then they moved to Florida, and I was a little frustrated, and things just didn't seem to be like panning together like I thought they would. And I think the office wasn't. They decided that they didn't see a future in me, so they let me go. And called Snoop the day I got let go and asked for my job back, and he was like, "Come on, Bruce," and went back to work and kind of put it behind me, and just so happens we were coming off a tour from Australia, and he got asked to be at Jacksonville to go to WWE for Monday Night Raw, and I tried to get out of it because I didn't want to go back there because I had been fired. It's kind of embarrassing. And you get canned from a job, you don't want to go back.
Right.
So you got to deal with the fake highs. And, "Oh, my God, how are you?"
Right.
"Yeah, I haven't heard from you." "Oh, I was going to call you." You didn't want to go through all that. So, but Snoop said, "No, you got to go. Can't switch you out." So I went, and I was there maybe 5 minutes, and John Laurinaitis was the head, so the door was still open, and asked if I wanted to come back. And so I started to think about it. It took a couple of weeks. Talked to Snoop, and he was like, "Are you sure?" I was like, "Yep." And then I made a deal with him that I'd somehow put his name in my name, and that's where Brodus Clay came from.
Nice. Well, that's pretty cool.
Calvin Brodus.
That's pretty cool. Well, you talked about how big of a fan you were watching all the different territories and companies. Talk to me, since you are now in the business. What's the biggest change? From being a kid and seeing it. How is the industry? How is WWE specifically? What's the biggest change that you notice now that you're on the other side of the curtain?
Well, obviously the biggest thing is the bond, the relationship between WWE superstars and all the work that goes into it. But it's a brotherhood, and you don't really necessarily see that on TV. You get caught up in the feuds and the drama and the spectacle that is, the sports entertainment. And the other side of it is, all the long hours we put in and the hard work and the sacrifices that people make, and just how much of a commitment it is to be a WWE superstar. I mean, there is no off season.
Talking to Brodus Clay, you can see him this Monday, Consult Energy Center, as Monday Night Raw comes here to Pittsburgh. Brodus, before I let you go, I got to ask, one of the new gold mine, WWE's once again done it, is the Total Divas show. It's doing really well on E! Network. Obviously, the Funkadactyls featured heavily, along with the Bella Twins and Natalia. I think it was the very first episode, the one that was taking place WrestleMania week. I did not expect this, and whatever you can say or want to say, we all know reality television. It's television. It could be sometimes produced or what have you. But we saw Cameron's real life boyfriend apparently upset at you and like backstage wanting to find you. Was that what were we seeing? What actually went down? Like what happened there?
Well,
I'll say this. Apparently, that was his mindset in front of the camera. But it's a circle building. I hang out in a place that's called Male Talent. Got a big sign and arrow pointing. 6'8", 360 pounds. So I'm not too hard to find. Especially if you walk around a circle building, you're bound to pass us twice. So I think that was just more of he was doing that for his girlfriend, which most boyfriends do. I had actually spoke to him after that when I heard about it, and it wasn't anything like that. So sometimes boyfriend's got to do what boyfriend's got to do, I guess.
So everything's cool with you guys.
I don't, I'm not really. What's his name? I can't remember his name. Like,
I think it's Vincent.
I'm sure. Yeah, that's how committed I am to that whole situation. But the show itself is doing really well, and it's been a great vessel for the Funkadactyls and Talia, and I think the Bella Twins have just like knocked it out of the park on there. And so I wish them nothing but the best.
Yeah, because when I saw him going off, I really was hoping the next segment was you walking up to him and just going, "My bad." I was really hoping for that, but
yeah, well, searching you'll find if you look hard enough, I guess.
Brodus, thank you so much for your time. Again, you can see Brodus and tons of funk in the entire WWE roster this Monday, Consol Energy Center in Pittsburgh. Tickets are still available. If you have not been, then you need to go and experience it. If you've already been, then the chances are you're already going again. So, Brodus, thank you so much. We look forward to seeing you Monday, and we will certainly be dancing with you.
Thank you very much, man.